That's what we got going on. What's going on, people? Get the sound up here correctly. This is going to be interesting. Promises to be interesting. All right. Activity feed over here. So this was an actual video request. Old women want their young meat redone. See, that's not the way I want to take this. All right. This was a video request. What's the deal with olders dating youngers? And full disclosure, this subject popped up over last summer. First part of last summer. I remember I was over, this was when Obsidian and Ren were still doing the morning drive time show or whatever. I got the name of the show, title of the show. But anyway, I got on the show one morning and they were talking about something. And the subject went to dating. And I mentioned that the previous night, I was out with a 25-year-old sister who hailed originally from the continent. And she and I went out on a date to this cigar bar. And when we showed up in the place, this table of women, Generation X women, were just staring daggers down at us, to the point to where my date actually leaned over and said, do you know those ladies? Do you know those women? I was like, no. I was like, well, what's wrong with them? I was like, I don't know. I knew what the problem was. You had a bunch of old, fat, over-the-hill women, saw a good-looking brother coming in there with a fine young sister, and they were pissed. That's just the reality. We can paint it whatever we want to. That's the reality. See, there's this thing out there that men in general, Black men in particular, aren't supposed to have any options or any choice. We're just supposed to take whatever comes to us. And if we do what anybody else is doing, it's somehow wrong. We're going to flip this on its head, though, because this wasn't just one woman. This has actually been about 5 emails I've gotten, 5 messages, comments, emails I received from women wanting to know my opinion on the topic. Honestly, I didn't even want to kind of go into it, but since though somebody made a donation for it, and I was like, you know what, let me cover it, because honestly, you asked and you wanted my opinion, and I'll give it to you. So here's number one. Here's number one ground rules. Anybody comes in here talking crazy, using any pejorative terms, insulting me, remove the comment, bring it to my attention. Zero tolerance. I'm booting people. And if you don't like the subject, you don't like it, you can leave. I really enjoy your channel. I've learned a lot from your videos. I was wondering if you would address a topic about older women. And this is the theme. I'm an older woman in my mid to late 30s, early 40s. They claim to be, educated, well off financially, 50-50 on children. But it's always like this, either they have no kids or the kids are not an issue, meaning they're out of the house or whatever. And it always comes back to, I keep it seem to attract younger men. substantially younger, 10 years and more. Uh, the preference would be to date their peer or somebody older. What are your thoughts? So that's just it. I'm going to give my opinion. Opinion. When I have some facts that are things that I'm going to back up professionally, I will do that. Now, how many of you guys are familiar with China the China in the country? China has a policy called the one child policy, and in China, there's an epidemic of what they call leftover women, where single is okay every step in China. Single is okay except China. The New York Times actually did let me see how I want to do this. The New York Times, single in China. Dating is hard, and there's a government campaign to get you married. And it follows this woman. There's a term called Xingnu, leftover women, a term used to describe women who are 27 years old or older in China. Most of these women live in cities, lead rewarding professional lives. The term was coined in 2007 by a government organization responsible for the protection and promotion of women's rights and policies. The net of it is there's an epidemic of women being pressured by their families and by the governments to get married. If you have time, go check out. I'm going to put the link in the description because there's a video that goes along with it, but I don't want to play the video because I might get copyrights. But it follows this woman as she's actually at a dating service and some other things. And what do I want to read from it? Miss Q is a successful lawyer, fluent in English, but those qualities do not outweigh one key flaw. She's not married. And as it shows this woman sitting down with a matchmaker on what are called, they have national singles days, speed dating. It's pretty jarring. I think a lot of Western women, if they see it, will start to see things in a new light. Because if she goes to sit down with her family, her father and her grandfather and her mother, everybody's like, you need to get married. I want to stay single. And I don't want to spoil it. Watch the video. 9 minutes, a good watch. But some of the unintended consequences of just the dating world. Why do younger women? So here's the thing. When you look at older men with younger women, it always elicits some of the most horrible reactions, some of the worst words. But how come when we look at flipping it the other way, it's really not that big a deal? Are older women predating on younger men in the modern dating scene? Meaning the cougars, the panthers, are these women preying on younger men? Because the other way around, that point tends to get made. Yeah, they're preying on and it's funny that women in their 20s who have an education are considered to be women, young, going out to be doing all the other things. But if they decide to date someone older than them, then all of a sudden they become girls. I got no time. That's a ridiculous point. So should older women be allowed to marry younger men? Is it wrong for older women to simply date younger men? And a sexual relationship. And if here's the case, what impact would it have on the world, on society, your country, your city, your town, your community, if older women and younger men became a thing? All right. So now, back in the days of Stella got her groove back and blah, blah, there's always been this thing with older women, younger men. But here's how, in my opinion, I grew up thinking of this situation as older women will practice. When I was a younger man, I had a sugar mama. I dated older women, and they were just that. They knew what they wanted. It was a fun time, but there was never any question in my mind whether or not this was going to be anything other than a fling, a short-term thing. Now, see, that's one of the definite downsides, in my opinion, of older women, younger men. It goes against nature. An older man can date a younger woman, and while he may not have the youth and vitality he did in his 20s, 30s, he the assumption is he still has the resources and the gravitas to be able to provide, you know, and the and an older man can still be with a woman in her 20s and still produce children. You can't do that with an older woman. So the question becomes, it's funny. Shout out to Roxy. I reached out to her, and this is something that popped up. She said popped up in her Facebook today, because I always wanted to get some women's opinions on it because I have my opinion. But when I asked her, I was like, "What do you think?" And she was quick to tell me, "Ew." And this is on Exo Nicole. I was very close to giving up and living my life as my nephew's rich auntie that travels the world until I met him. A 38-year-old, I'm 38, and my 25-year-old made me believe in love again. See, oh, now see, look at that. That can be on that could be on Exo Nicole, and it can have thousands and thousands of views, 429 shares, 218 comments. A 38-year-old rich auntie who believes in love again because of her 25-year-old boyfriend. But flip that up and make it a 38-year-old man and a 25-year-old girl, a 25-year-old woman, as they would say, and then the pitchforks will come out. See, this way it's romantic. This way it's acceptable. Now, can this yield a family? Can 38-year-old women and 25-year-old men readily produce children like the opposite? What's more likely to be able to populate a community? 38-year-old men, 25-year-old women, or 25-year-old men and 38-year-old women? So if you go to read the comment section, my honey is 28 and I'm 36. He's been surprisingly more mature than anyone else I've dated. A great father of two girls. Wait a minute. He's 28 years old with two kids? Huh. All right, you're getting the cream of the crop here. First of all, I had a 21-year-old messaging me, but I told him I grew up with his dad and his mom. I can't, or maybe I should. Now see how that work? She got a 21-year-old messaging her in her inbox. I grew up with your dad and your mom. But if she were to go ahead and hook up with him, that would be fine. But the other way, it would be considered being a predator. Ain't that something? I'm open to a younger man. I'll be 45 this year. My son is going to be 29 next month. By my math, that means you were 15 or 16 when you had him. I'll turn 50 in December, and I've been talking to a man who's 38, very mature, thoughtful, hardworking, handsome, God-fearing, and a good sense of humor. Hmm. And that net of it is the hypocrisy is real. In my opinion, I don't care what you do, honestly. If it makes you happy, knock yourself out. But the chances of this being a long-term fix for the majority of women, in my opinion, is slim to none. Just like in the leftover women scenario with the woman in China, she had to hear something that I think you guys need to hear. Let me see if I can still play the video. When she was sitting with the matchmaker and the matchmaker told her, you're not a good age, you're not a good age to be married. And she says, I think I'm in the right age. She says, you think you're in the perfect age to be married? That's what the matchmaker said. She's like, you're not in the perfect age to be married. And she said, let me see if I can get to the next thing. I don't want to ruin it, but let's see if I can get it up. Fair use, fair use.
你所谓的合适的人，你希望是个什么样子？
我可能要求就比较高啊，比如说，我觉得他应该。
She says, I have high standards. For example, must be educated. Am I sharing my right screen? There we go. There we go. She says, I have high standards. First of all, he must be well educated. But most importantly, he must respect women. Have you ever been in a relationship? Twice. Sorry to be so straightforward, but you're beautiful. Sorry to be so straightforward, but you're not beautiful in a traditional sense. I want you to notice the look on her face when she has to hear the truth for the first time. Watch this woman's eye emotions when she starts to hear the truth for the first time. Look at her eye emotions. Watch her face. Watch the micro expressions. I mean, you're not pretty. I don't mean you're not pretty. You're not a beauty. And you're also really old. How old? And you're also old. Oh. And you said also, you're really old. That's what she told her. I don't think I'm old. I'm at a good age. You think you're perfect age for the marriage market? This woman is going to sit there and tell her, hey, I don't think I'm old. I don't think I'm good. Please don't think you're in a good position. The reality starts to set in. Look at the micro expressions. You might think you look young. Let me go ahead and mute this so I can't get. You might think you look young, but you're fooling yourself. Uh-oh. See the face? See the micro expressions? Uh-oh. See, this happened to a lot of sisters. You're fooling yourself. You might think you look young, but you're not young. And you're not the perfect age for the marriage market. Not the case. China is, I'm gonna let this play in the background, but this is the reality that gets held back too often. Now, she's not an unattractive woman, but she's not fine. And she's an attorney. She says she has high standards. Where do we hear this? Women who are over 27 years old or older are labeled leftover women. How many leftover women do we have in this country who think they still look good, who still can get sex, who can still get hollered at? Hey, you Han Mei, check this out. Jing Yu, nice to meet you. You look better than your photo. Oops, thank you. And look at him. Here's your coffee, thank you. You're welcome. Now I want you to see I want to see what happens when you had two relationships. Who looks like the socially awkward incel here? Would it be that person? The person who can't even look up? Or is it the guy who went over, got coffee, and looking forward to try to have a dialogue? But guess what? She ain't nowhere close to being interested. My parents always wanted a son. Despite having the one child policy, they kept trying for multiple kids. I don't want your sob story, lady. This is what she's looking at when she's not lawyering. Oh, look at this. What is this? The annual government blind date event. Imagine what happens if the United States start having an annual United States blind date event. But no, you got options. You fine. You didn't mortgage your youth. Okay, it's all good. Yeah. At my age, I passed the age of falling in love. I passed the age of romantic relationships. This is where a lot of people are going to get to, I think, in my opinion. I think after a certain age, man, after 30, 35, sure, you got to pass the age of falling in love. Romantic relationship, you better start making a deal. This is why I asked the other day, what are you willing to sacrifice? But most women don't want to sacrifice anything. They want it all. The more a woman has, the more she wants. I mean, notice her haircut is nice and short. Whoever told her this was a good look? I mean, y'all think it's just here? No. Look at this. Watch what happens here. Hey, I'm from a country town. Really? So we can go to home together in a country town because she's from the country too. Right. Since college, I've never thought of going back. It's such a small town. There's no development. People in Shenandoah are very traditional. Male chauvinism is very common. See, here's the I'm liberated and I got high standards. That's the float. Yeah, that small country town that we're both from that we don't like to go back. Yeah. See, the problem is not that it's small and country, no development. The problem is that toxic masculinity, that male chauvinism. She really thinks she's gonna sell this dude on him. I know my family's like that. Look at his face. Look at his face. He about ready to get up with a, you can have a red pill or the blue pill. What do you think he's about? He's like, yeah, whatever. After you get married, will you carry on that tradition? I think, like you said, every man in Shandong is a male chauvinist. But there are varying degrees. Uh-oh. In my marriage, I'm hoping to be dominant. Look at her face change. In my marriage, and the guy said, in my marriage, I'm hoping to be in charge, dominant, the leader, the alpha. Watch the micro expressions. Watch the micro expressions all up in here. Watch all up in here. Look at this. She's like, uh-oh. He says he's hoping to be dominant. He's hoping to be in charge. Look at the micro expressions. Dominant? Are you sure you meant dominant? You sure you meant alpha? You sure? You sure you meant that? I want to be dominant in my family. For example, I research about cell phones and TV. As a woman, you don't have to give advice. Just tell me what you need. Look at her face. Ooh, you're such a masculine, assertive man. You're not a soy boy. You mean I can't walk over you? We can't negotiate? We can't be partners? You mean you actually want traditional family? Look at her face. But I went to law school. I'll make the decision. I don't want my wife to be stronger than me. But wait a minute. But I'm a lawyer. I went to school. Look at her. She looks like she's ready to cry. I want my wife to be stronger than me, suddenly making decisions all alone. Look at her. She's like, but I'm an attorney. I'm rich. I can travel the world. Look at her. She like she may have a stroke. I think she just had a micro stroke right here, right there. Look at that. I think she had a micro stroke right here. Yeah, she looks like a boy. She needs my help. See, this lady's, and this is the Chinese woman. But men don't want to hear this shit. Look at her. Oh, we about to get home. Let's get to it right now. Let's get home right now. Look at Grandpa. It's about to get deep. Say, Grandpa. See, her sisters came with her kids. Her rich ass showed up by herself. Look at this old rundown village. You found your Mr. Right yet? I don't want to find one. You should consider getting married. You should start to consider your future. Honestly, I'm worried. You are? The law says people should get married in their 20s. Fair use. You're in your 30s and still not married. When people ask, I don't know what to say. Yeah, parents start to worry about their daughters. Like, what am I going to say about my crazy daughter who went to college and got all educated and still ain't married? But she's like, I can date someone, but I don't want to get married. Really? And she's telling her grandfather that she can date, but she didn't want to get married. But yet she was just on 2 dates. See the lies? I can have it all. All that schooling makes you dumb. It made her dumb. Grandma for the win. Grandma just went straight 9,000 wow. Look at, she's like, did grandma just do that? Grandma just went straight savage. All that schooling makes you dumb. Grandma went straight savage. Huh? You live in the village with grandpa. You didn't go to school. I'm a lawyer. I'm rich. I live in the city. I'm a strong, independent black woman. You just a traditional country, southern mammy pick me. Yeah, but I'm happy, but I got family. And you had a mini stroke over coffee. You're highly educated and you don't want someone with low status. Hypergamy, you don't want somebody low status. You're highly educated, but you ain't fine. The ones with high status don't show interest in you. Let's get back. You're highly educated and you don't want somebody with low status. Yet the high status men you don't want you. Because why would they want an average looking 30-year-old when they can have a 23-year-old without all these damn opinions? Did I say that out loud? That's the way the world works. Since you got a steady job, you should consider getting married. That's a sister. Now see, look at all these women. They look like look at all of them. Ooh, it's about to get thick. Sister right here, like that's the one that came in with the baby. You should consider getting married. I did consider it. I just decided to remain single. Do you think she really decided to remain single? How many women sit back and talk about they decided to remain single, like Lonnie Love and lying? Watch it. Now she's about to get indignant. I decided to remain single. Yeah, you decided to remain single. Right. Don't nobody believe this shit. Grandma like, you don't care. You'll do whatever you want. Mom and dad never worry about me. They never worry about the others. You're the only one they worry about. Look at the parents. Jesus, why are you doing this? You listened to me when you were a kid. Now you don't. I gave you what you wanted. I rarely slept. I worked in mud and water for what? To support you. Uh-oh, now they're getting heavy on her. Bit much. How will your life look when you're 35, 45 years old? Mm-mm. As a as her kid pops up in her lap. Imagine being 45, 55. Here comes the reality. Our other sisters and I worry about you all the time. Here come the tears. This would be cursing if this was us. When you get sick or have issues, who can you call? Who can take care of you? It's tiring to start a family, but who doesn't want to have one? Oh, basically, we don't want to take care of you when you're old. We got other stuff to do. This is the spinster economy, the spinster bubble. We don't want to have to deal with you. We already got our husbands and our kids. We don't have to keep worrying about you. Who has a comfortable life after marriage? I mean, yeah, that's where it is. It's not that I want to stay single forever, but I really don't mind. All right. So, why did I show you that? Because it mirrors so much of things that get talked about over here. And see, oftentimes when Black folks, it's easy to just throw race in there. This is in China. This woman, what are her options? The men of status who have what she wants don't want her. That's how it's always been. So what are you going to do if you're an older woman? You're going to either have to give up a lot of these things on your list, or you're going to have to be practice for a younger guy. That's my opinion. That's crazy. I don't know what just happened. But anyway, look, the difference is in the United States, they don't have the pressure they have over there. My personal opinion is really this. After age 35, men and women are past the age of falling in love, romantic love. You're going to have, if you want to be married, you're going to have to make a deal with a suitable man. My mother married a man that I never in the world, the man my mother married, there's no way the woman that raised me would have ever looked his way. And they have been married going on 23 years. She has lived a better life since she's married to this man. We always lived in rental homes or apartments. She got her first home after marriage. Her life is rock stable. The stability that my mother has, we never had as a child. It's because of her marriage. She married a man who worked at the same company she worked at, doing the same kind of union job. It's not like he was rich. They were making about the same money. When I asked you ladies, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of what you think you are if you want to be better than, because this is what's going on, ladies. I'm going to open up the panel. This is what's going on. It's not just a bunch of men who hate women, being rude to women. It's not that. It's that, like it or not, after age 40, Men who have accomplished things have options, and they don't want an older woman when younger women are there with less issues. What do you want? Would you rather give up height, education level, income, looks, and get someone who's competent? Or would you rather just go for lust and sex? Where's that going to carry you? You can only have sex. What? You're not going to have, at this age, you're not going to be doing what you were doing in your 20s. But you got to not decide whether or not you want to have it all. Do I think younger men and older women? No. Oh, I think more likely than not, your practice. And unfortunately, pretty safe practice too. It's not like an older woman is really likely going to turn up pregnant. You can have unprotected sex. And we only get it wrong. You can have unprotected sex with women, especially women. Likelihood of pregnancy decreases. Unprotected sex. You got your higher income. There's a desperation factor that a lot of guys factor into it. But what ends up happening? A lot of older women get left for younger women. I mean, the woman who's 38 with the 25-year-old. All right, that sounds cool right now to a 25-year-old. 25-year-old men don't know nothing. Give it 15 years. He's 40. He'll be reaching the peak of his hotness. And she'll be 53. Unless she lives in the gym, she is not going to be tight, firm, whatever. They're not going to be, he has 2 kids. She's not going to give him any kids. And I'm sorry, ladies. You get older. Men and with 40, a lot of guys look 40. They still look like they're in their late 20s, early 30s. Women in their 50s look 50. Their skin looks 50. Their hands look 50. So no, I don't think it's a good idea for long term. If you know you want to be in a emotionally significant, committed relationship, put aside the Harlequin romance and put aside the ideas of falling in love. Make a practical choice. That's it. It's my opinion. That's my opinion. I know a lot of women don't want to hear that. They're like, oh, that sucks. Well, you don't have to listen to me. So, Donnell, that's true. My pops, and I get mistaken for brothers all the time, bro. You know, people don't know how old I am. And that's cool. And this is the thing. You ladies, you can't worry about what men are doing. Men will always have options. Worry about, I would say, if you want men, somebody in your age range, you got to listen to what those men are saying. And you know what? YouTube, especially these spaces, is a good place to hear what men are saying. Now, I'm not going to throw the numbers out there because I really don't know, but Generation X, it's all over but the shouting in a lot of ways. It's all over but the shouting. So I wanted to make that video because I had a lot of women. I've had more than a few women ask me about my opinion, and I wanted to juxtapose it against just my opinion. So I showed you the leftover women syndrome in China. That New York Times article is up on the New York Times website. You can go see it right now for free. If you want to check out Exo Nicole on Facebook, you can go check out that link. You know, if you just decide to do a quick Google search and look at how many older women are dating younger men, you're usually going to see some form of celebrity, whether major or minor. But it is far easier for a Naomi Campbell to date a younger man seriously than a Tiffany Wilson or just a regular old person. I'm 32, no kids, and I have myself together. I'm picky as heck. I don't know, who are you? Are you a man or a woman? Look at the pics from the guy from 40-Year-Old Virgin. I don't take any female over 26. Okay, well. Hey, Kaiser, so dude, you got a picture of a lion king on you. Derek Jackson says 40 years old are the best. It must be true. Okay, well, listen to Derek Jackson at your peril. My mother is 8 years younger than my father. Anybody have any questions? I will answer some questions. I prefer to answer questions from ladies. If I'm not mistaken, I think Derek, I know he has one child, if not two. And if I'm correct, the woman he had a child by, they were together for quite a while and actually had their child before he was born. So, yeah. Why would no men listen to Derek Jackson? Women do. Older women have too much baggage. In general, older people have too much baggage. See, as much as I try not to make sweeping generalizations, I prefer to date women under 35, under 30, actually, 35 or under for sure. Now, why don't you guys Michael ask you a question. You guys can ask your question. Again, this is just opinion. But I also would say this, that the guys I work with, a lot of my clients, especially men over 40, the last thing a man over 40 wants to do after he's starting to get himself together, invest all that money, time, and effort, doing all that work, is to deal with a bunch of problems. I mean, ladies, think about it this way. Imagine you're an average guy. You know, average to above average looks. You went to college. You have an average job, you know, $60,000 a year, $70,000, actually above average income. Average looks, average build. Then you finally work with an image consultant or life coach, somebody like that. Then you walk out of this stuff looking good, clothes fitting. You in the gym. You got your strength up, your salt and pepper going. You got confidence. You're actually projecting yourself differently. He's a new man. He's reinvented himself. But you got to look at his previous experience with women. That guy's previous experience with women probably has not been the best. He's been in a more beta type position. So he's probably had he has not had a lot of women being cooperative with him. Do you think a man that's put in that amount of work to reinvent himself, to reimagine his life, wants to go back to deal with the same type and caliber of women that he was unsuccessful with previously. Do you think a guy who's in the gym wants to lay up in the bed with a woman who has not seen the gym since she had to go to PE in high school? No. I agree. I don't deal with overweight women. 140 pounds. 140 is the cutoff. 140, size 6. If you are above 140, you better be like you better be muscle. See, like I'm not gonna tell my homegirl stuff, but you can weigh more if you actually have quality muscle as a woman. Muscle weighs more than fat, but the overall point is dress size 6 or less. 0. No. 140. I'm considering. I'm considering for muscle. I want a woman that's got some. I don't want her to be skinny fat. 34C, 34, 36C, 24, 34. Nice leg. I don't like a big old ridiculous butt. I don't like this waist trainer stuff. I like a woman that looked like she ran track in the 80s. All right. Thick at 20. I don't do thick. Thick, thick is fat on the way. Do you think BM have success capacity? I don't know what that means. I'm 147, but I work out. Well, you'd have to lose 15 for me to deal with you. You have to lose 15 because you 147. You got to lose 15 plus some comfort. 147, you have to drop down to 132 before we could go out on a date. Yeah, Danielle said you got to have flat stomach too. Got to have a flat stomach. I will clown you on your fat stomach. Oh, look at that. Ooh. You need to go ahead and do some yoga, Pilates. You need to get that straightened out. Nope. See, here come these delusional women. I know some guys who like big women, who love big women. And take your fat ass over there then. No offense, but we don't want to hear that. No man like no big woman over no good looking woman. You talking about broke, ineffective men. Serena Williams. I don't want a dude. Why you want that man? More cushion for me. Yeah, you broke. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, some of these guys coming here talking all that. You broke. Dudes are coming here co-signing more cushion for the pushing. You broke. Because if you actually had some money, so you can say all that mess. But I got one thing. If I gave you $50 billion in your bank, would you still take that cushion for the pushing? No, you wouldn't. Take the woman you would want at $50 billion and then go backwards. All right. And Serena Williams. See, let me go ahead and flip this up to dudes. See, a lot of you guys, man, you aren't in the gym. Bigger girls are man, get out of here with your bigger girls are easy. Let me go ahead and time you out. You're talking like a loser. Robert, I want big girls. You're losers. This is no loser zone. Go somewhere else. See, that's why I don't do guys that would talk like that. Ladies, you need to avoid guys like this because they're the ones that keep you stuck. They're the ones that keep you stuck. They don't go to the gym themselves. They don't exercise themselves. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. One of the best things you can do is actually have somebody you can actually exercise with. Go ahead and time you out too. Say something else in there about a big chick, and I'm gonna block you. I said what I had to say. Think I'm gonna change that? I don't anger brothers like fat chicks. Nope, I don't. I don't want to. I don't have any. See, a lot. I've grown. I grew up around a lot of overweight women, and I've heard a lot of excuse making. First thing they want to do is talk about, genetics and the planet, the country of Africa, and you don't know she could have a thyroid. No, I know. My ex-wife had Graves' disease. Of the of all the women I've ever dealt with in my life, that was the one woman that had thyroid condition. And we were lucky her Graves went backwards. She had the kind that make you lose weight. So hundreds of women, only one had a thyroid issue. A lot of these big women don't have thyroid issues. You got a question for me? Put it in the super chat, man. Do I think that men should deal with less attractive women while doing self-improvement? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, let's think about the thought process. I'm improving myself, but let me deal with subpar women. Then you need more mental help because your mind ain't right. Is it a woman? Is it okay if a woman has a weight requirement for me? No, I don't. Women don't give me requirements for me. I look good for me. I don't deal with a woman's requirement. I pick. What are you talking about? But are you a fat bastard? I mean, if you're a fat guy, you can let a woman decide that for you. 6'4", 200 pounds. I'm good. 6'4", 195 pounds. I'm good. Fat women are bad emergency. Huh. I got a thing for pretty easy. I don't trust a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys that don't have your avatar up. A lot of y'all just being there talking. Talk about you got a thing for pretty women. I got to see what you. I got. Let me see who I'm talking to. A lot of you guys in here just be in there fantasy talking. You ain't. Last time you saw a pretty woman, it was a goddamn movie. What? Who are you talking to, Chaos Rain? Who are you talking to, Chaos Rain? Who are you referring to, Chaos Rain? Wait a minute. Don't nobody say nothing. Let's just wait. Who are you referring to, Chaos Rain? Hold up. Oh no. Mm-hmm. Better be trolling. Huh. I don't disparage against I don't disparage women, but I'm no fact of being lucky about nothing. See, if you do the work you need to do for yourself as a man, you have options. You have options when you're on your grind, on your hustle. When you're actually out here producing stuff and have work to show, you have options. Jay, if you had any more questions, you either book a session or you put it in super chat. I've answered one of your questions. You come in here and ask questions all the time. Fat acceptance memes like broke men claiming to be valuable. Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't, you get to a point to where you don't have to respond to everything. You know, fat acceptance, and you don't have to respond to it all. Okay. Because your life, you are working on doing what's good for you. You don't have to try to correct everything and every injustice. Just go along to get along. Thirty, 38, 41, dating a 30-year-old woman. Only reason I'm dating her is because she's bad to the bone, submissive and childish. Hey, if you like it, man. If you like it, I love it. I wouldn't be dating anyone. They're close to my age. They all go left. Everybody has issues, and they're going to come out sooner or later. Everybody going to go left sooner or later. And I date more or less for I don't want to have to go back in this competition. Women my age tend to want to compete. I'm not going to compete with you. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow, but go see the photograph. Yeah, tomorrow I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. The only people that should be doing, well, not dating. The women I'm dealing with, I'm not seeing anybody tomorrow. And a good thing is, if you think you got something going on, if you think you got something going on with a woman, if y'all ain't going out tomorrow night, she ain't yours. And if you cannot call her and she picks up the phone, she ain't yours. See, I'm very realistic about what I'm doing. I don't, from October 30th to February 15th, keep it non-committal. If you decide to get involved with anybody on a serious relationship, do it after the 15th. All right, guys, I got to get up off here. That was long enough. All right, I hope I answered your question to the people who asked for the video. You know, live and let live. But I think if it's acceptable for women, it's acceptable for men. Until we see when Stella got her groove back, I mean, if women aren't predating on younger men, if they should be allowed to marry younger men, if there's nothing wrong for older women with younger men, and if people can say that older women with younger men would have an impact on society, then let it go. And the opposite. Check out that article on New York Times. That's a good article. The leftover women thing, and then check out X on Nicole. All right. If you have any opinions or if you have anything you want to do, you can comment on the video. Again, this is my opinion. I don't render any professional fact in this kind of stuff because it's anecdotal at best. What I've seen, what I've witnessed, what I've heard, I mean, I think my opinion is pretty solid, but hey, peace out.